Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Intellectual Saviors. This is the show where we talk about all the taboos in your life. Did I say taboos? Taboos. And then we just brain fuck you with those taboos.
I don't even understand what that means.
I'm really lost.
I am too.
Damn it, then just start it over. Just stop it. We'll record over, and I'll just come up with something else then. You guys are going to be dicks about it.
Fuck that.
Nope, too late. All right, so...
Jesus.
We're going to try to... I guess we should rate you from now on every time we do that. Like when you just score or something big, we'll just be like, 10. Move on to the topic, and that's it.
So what was that one like? Well, I did kind of say... I said taboos.
Well, what's our scale? What's our rating scale?
I don't know what the scale is yet, but you're going to get a corn dog.
Corn dog.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
That sounds dirty. Very dirty.
Sounds like a third input thing.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa. 3 corn
Christina
dogs.
is not in the room.
That's right.
Bitch.
It's a good thing too, because
I'm just kidding, Christina.
Someone's whacking off too.
I said don't say that on the air, you asshole.
Oh, that's right.
God
we
damn
went
it.
there.
So we have a guest in the room, not really a speaker, but just kind of in the room. It's one of my buddies.
We're using him, so if he starts passing out, then we know that we're fucking up.
Basically,
Yeah.
that's kind of...
He falls asleep on the couch.
We're gonna monitor how
That's
he's
definitely
doing
our
over there.
gauge. So
Like,
we'll get
shit,
into
we're
that.
boring. We're boring. Get funny.
Oh, hey, I did want to point this out to Boggs that I've got Hunger Games next on Netflix, so I'll be able to report on that probably next.
Damn it, I didn't even get into the names yet. Okay, I'm Eric.
Oh,
We got Boggs and Michael. That intro was from a wonderful band from Seattle named KK and his Weathered Underground.
Great band.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of seeing them live, and Boggs fell in love with the guitarist.
I
named
shit
Thomas.
my pants.
Yeah, he wanted to have his babies, pretty much.
Welcome to space, bitches was his phrase on stage while he was fucked up on some drug I don't know.
That's not. We don't know that for a fact.
Yeah,
I know, but
we don't know
that
for
was
a fact.
hold on. But that was a great segue into our topic.
I think he was drunk on the love of music.
Yes, that
Drunk
is
on
for
the love.
sure. But if you are in the Seattle area around October 18th, they're going to be playing at the Crocodile for City Arts Festival. So if any of our listeners are in Seattle, go check them out. They're definitely worth a go. And when they go back on tour, I would definitely say check them out. It's a sweet show. Got good music, fun to listen to, fun to get high to.
Oh my!
That's not even a joke. They're actually pretty psychedelic in terms of their style. So
and perfect
anyway,
for the theme of our show.
Basically, yeah. That's the next point here is today we're going to discuss drugs, behavior, and the legality therein. We're going to touch on prostitution also because it's basically the same type of taboo type subject when it comes to things that we've illegalized. And it's amazing how long that shit's been illegalized. I love how fucking Aubrey just like guessed on our Facebook. Did you see that?
Yeah. But I mean, come on. I said it was the oldest profession on the planet.
I know, but
That's
it's
pretty
just
easy to guess.
That is pretty much what it's known as.
If you don't know that, then you're an extremely sheltered individual.
Well, maybe she was Mormon, so
Yeah, but have you met her? I mean,
dude, come on. She was telling us
she was on the show last week.
She's not sheltered.
I recall some of her stories. I'm going to disagree. I don't think she's sheltered.
Yeah.
I don't think she's sheltered. I'm just saying she was.
I mean, really, Mormons can't be sheltered if they're going to Vegas to get married, to fuck a chick, and then get divorced.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious. I think the only thing that was more hilarious than that was seriously the... I just want to make out that none of us got through Scientology without laughing.
You
Sorry
can't. It's impossible. That's old news. Old news. Let's move on to something else.
No, I think we need to go back over Zeno again.
It was pretty fun.
Actually, I did notice that on the feed hits, that one did much more... many more hits than the Mormonism one. So evidently people are definitely more into Xenu than they are into Elohim.
Well, that's because it sounds crazier than the Mormon stuff.
Dude,
but to me,
crazy.
it's yeah. But I mean, if you're coming at it from a Christian perspective, you can somewhat understand Mormonism better than you can Xenu, some galactic dude like freezing people and throwing them at volcanoes and nuking them.
Yeah, they got Jesus in common. So.
Dude, he fucking meant business though.
Oh yeah,
I like his style.
Xenu did not fuck around. When he wanted to annihilate people and lower his populations, he got that shit done.
Yeah.
I still want to get one of those fucking DC-8s with rocket engines.
Let's do it.
If I ever become billionaire. That's what I'm going to go and buy. Fuck
Go
a
for
private
it.
jet and get me a DC-8 with some rocket engines.
Is this our freefer?
I guess.
Have we even gone to the free? Does anybody have anything for the freefer? I sort of do, like a little thing.
I want to hear what you got, Eric.
Well, mine's just a little beef because I was talking to somebody and they were saying, "Oh, well, that's what you believe." I don't think people quite understand that. I don't have a belief. I go based on what the evidence and what science brings me towards. There's no belief in there at all. A belief takes a lack of evidence. Which is what I definitely don't have. A lack of evidence.
Yeah.
I have plenty of evidence, and that's what I use to guide. You guys are going to try lay it out again, you little bastards.
I do like when he gets on the rant like this, though. That is
like,
what we need to do. Just let him go for like 5
weasels.
minutes.
But it's not a belief.
I
right?
understand. I
Aye,
understand what you're
man.
saying.
You ain't got to tell me, Holmes. I'm with you. I'm on your side.
I think what you could say at that point is it's
That
a
just irks me
philosophy
that
of
people
thought.
say it's, oh, well, that's what you believe.
It hurts you?
Not really.
Well, it's just like having
It's
faith.
not a belief.
They're
trying to put me into some kind of segment of a religion or something.
That's the thing.
They do the same thing with atheists. They try and say, oh, it's a religion.
Yeah,
Bullshit. It's not.
They're trying
at all.
They're trying to put you into their situation where it's like, well, we don't have any facts to substantiate what we believe in, but we believe in it because we have faith.
Yeah, so we're just going to put those who do have evidence and a lot of facts, and we're going to throw you in a corner and try and make you into another religion so we can belittle you.
And nobody puts Eric in a corner. We know that.
No, you don't want to do that.
That's a reference for all you girls out there. Bitches.
Damn.
What? Do you got anything, Boggs? You got anything to add?
What, like 40-year-old girls?
Dude, don't worry about it. That's my demographic, bitch. Don't fucking worry about that.
For the freefer, man, I'm tired. I've had a crazy weekend.
No, are we going into magic?
We're not going to
What are
talk
we gonna
about
do?
it. I'm just saying
Oh, my.
that I have had a crazy ass weekend.
He put on his magic underwear and went and played some magic this weekend.
Yeah, we were
I'm not
supposed to do
Mormon.
the show like earlier, but
Plus 20 hit.
Boggs was having a good day in magic apparently and was kicking some ass. So he didn't want to leave. He was having
that
so much
kicking ass
fun.
part's not exactly correct.
Which
but,
is... Which
Dude,
is
you said you were doing really good. You said that to
I
me
was-
over the phone. You
I
said, "Hey man,
was-
I'm gonna be a little bit late. I'm doing really good."
I was doing pretty well until the last round. The last round I got raped.
Do you like
pretty
my
hard.
Boggs impression?
So
Still, your voice is still a little too
I will say
deep.
though, since you're aware of this person, my wife did really well,
Yeah, you told me that too.
but she always seems to do well in them. It doesn't matter. We're not going to talk magic on the podcast. It's not happening. If any of you fuckers out there try to comment on it, I'm telling you now, I'm not bringing it up. Okay,
Oh, but I will.
I might bring it
It'll
up a few
come up.
times.
It'll
It'll
come
probably
up.
come up. Fuck you guys.
that and the Hunger Games will come up every episode. We'll work them in some way.
So
or another.
Boggs free fur is he's tired.
Yeah, Boggs is tired.
Awesome.
And because
Fucking
Boggs is
tired,
running
bro.
so late, that's the reason why our lovely producer isn't here. That and also the fact that she went camping over the weekend and she fell off a cliff and died on impact. So
Whoa.
we're not going to have her on the show anymore. So
Ouch.
It was an accident, but don't worry about it. The bears took care of the carcass.
Ooh.
Holy crap.
The weird thing is, she called in dead.
She called in dead, yeah.
There you go. So that's why we
Next
don't
week, I got better.
But you know the great I was gonna say the great thing is with Kristen is no one would even know if she wasn't here anyway. So
True, yeah.
dude, our producers
we
over there.
could have
she's
said
You know
that
what,
she was
though?
here the entire time and nobody would have known.
We gave her a chance to speak so people could know her voice. So when she got
Yeah.
eaten by the
Yep.
bear,
Although I have to say
They
I
could hear her
respect that
scream.
because most women don't know their place and they run their mouths all the time. At least she knew her place and she kept it shut.
there's that.
Was I not supposed to say that? Oh, that was just
And
between
completely wipes out our women's rights episode right there with that one comment. These guys are assholes.
us. Was that my Todd Aiken fucking
Yeah.
moment right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what though? At least we
Okay.
agree that legitimate rape is a silly term.
There you go. I like forcible rape better anyway. It sounds
Yeah.
fucking so much hotter.
And we also apologize because Christina was going to be here as well, but because Boggs had his little magic heyday, he kind of ruined that. We were going to have her do like some really sexy stuff from
And
the
she-
start of the show.
and
To
she
be
will.
fair, exactly.
Oh,
That's
she
my
will.
To be fair, there is.
But
oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying they're missing out right now.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we have to bait them with something, and I didn't mean that as a pun.
and we are also missing out on that right now as well.
That's true.
You guys are
You
going to
ruined
miss
it
out
for
anyway
us.
because she doesn't want to do that. Oh, by the way.
No, you're going out too.
Nuh-uh. I talked to her. I talked to her the other day, and I was like, hey, by the way, I want to run the board when you do that because somebody has to hit play and stop. She's like, can I do that? I was like, well, we're going to do multiple takes, and I'd rather you not have to like figure out how to do tracking and stuff. She's, oh, okay. Oh,
She can just do one
You hear that
take
shit?
and then I can edit it.
Now we gotta have her do a few, man.
Right, then I have to view the clipping.
I actually, since I'm the one
We
that
should all try to talk our way into the room.
I just say because
Each one of us has a little job that we have to do.
yeah, the prompts that I wrote, I'm gonna have to coach her on how she needs to do them.
Mike, you
for the
should.
podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly. You should be her vocal coach.
I'll be her
Mike's the vocal
coach.
coach. Dude, you know what sucks? I just
I'll show her how
realized
to work her mouth.
She doesn't listen to the podcast, does she?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't
She gets
know.
all these ideas, so when we approach her with it later, okay, listen, no one tell Christina what we just said that on there.
Shh.
Because
Audience.
Yeah, she's never gonna listen to this.
Probably not, but
Nobody else does.
but see, now
Why
that
would
we've said
she?
that, if she comes up and slaps me later, I'm gonna be like, fuck, she heard the podcast.
Apparently people in Iran do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
we
weird.
we do have our one listener in Iran, so I just want to give a shout out to him or her.
Yeah.
We don't know. All we know is where it comes from.
I hope you're cool.
Yeah. If you don't agree with us, dude, just please listen to something else and pretend like you never heard us. That's all I can say. Because we're scared. We're really fucking scared.
I'm pretty scared.
Speaking of which, there's what do they call it tomorrow on the 30th? They have I think it's called Blasphemy Day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I put
I
that
don't
on
know
my
what that
Facebook
is.
for my minions.
Yeah.
What's Blasphemy Day?
It's pretty much where you do anything to be blasphemous.
Yeah, it's kind of
Anything
like
and everything.
Ooh.
atheist holiday.
People also like draw Muhammad and stuff, and yeah, there's all kinds of
Oh
stuff.
my god,
We're
we
not
had to
doing
draw
that.
a
We are
person.
not doing that.
I'm totally doing it.
Oh, that's Eric Jones.
I went there. Hey.
So I think after the
draw
end of the
Muhammad.
show, we should have her do another sexy voice where we basically just like chastise Eric and say Eric Jones is basically not at all a part of the show. He's just himself, and
Yeah, we
you
need
should
that
treat him
drop.
as such.
We need that drop every time Eric says something. We can just play it, and that was Eric Jones. have Christina say that. Send all emails.
I have my own disclaimer.
Attention. Yeah,
You should have your own disclaimer, you liberal douche.
dude. Seriously, you know one thing? While we were waiting, next time I'm bringing some fucking beers. I'm gonna drink a couple before we do the show.
No, you got to do it as we progress. That way you just
Dude, I
sound
got
like
some
a complete
Oktoberfest in the
retard.
fridge.
We might have to do a break, kids. Do a quick
Delicioso.
beer drink.
Can you get me one real quick? I don't care if we're on the air. I need one.
No.
You hear that?
Damn it.
No.
Fuck. Can I go get one? You
Yeah.
mind if I go to your fridge real quick? You can run the boards. It's
Yeah,
fine, bro.
Go get it. Go get us one.
You want one, bro?
Hell yeah, make it.
Okay.
Let's make
Eric?
it happen.
No, I'm good.
He's like,
Oh, yeah,
fucking
Eric-
dicks are
Eric-
gonna drink my beer, man.
Eric, even though he is definitely the most offensive, is always the most professional out of
That's
the
true.
I think I only have 2 in there, so
He
that's
did-
why I said no.
He does have
and the most courteous.
he does have the most professional voice of us too.
I'm not positive on that though.
Son of a bitch. Well, I will err to the side of the elder in the room.
Thanks.
If
I appreciate
that comes up.
Okay.
BRB, bitches.
All right. Do you have anything for the briefer?
Dude, we've already fucking wasted so much time. We got so much gold to get into here. Especially the prostitution, which we're saving for last because that's what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, we're going to be going into the war, quote unquote, on drugs, whatever the hell that means.
Which is probably more in this case, just on the differences or the reasons why it should be legalized in comparison to some of the other things that are actually legal already.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we can go into some other things we discussed. CIA, some of the things our military does and different stuff. I'd kind of like to hold that over for a different show another time. We can do our crazy conspiracy shows because we know we got you people out there that want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
And Eric's a crazy dude. He believes in all kinds of crazy stuff. He was telling me about some stuff earlier. Oh, it's fucking crazy.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh. Here we go. Boggs is back. We're going to get
Was
the
there
show
only
going.
one?
Fuck, I forgot.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I'll be right back.
He only gets himself a beer. What an asshole.
Dude. I don't know what are we working with here.
Jesus. All right. So what do you got for us?
Me, I don't have anything. I'm just here.
Motherfucker.
I'm just here to say stuff and things.
Just say stuff and things.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, Boggs is really going to be the main man on this show because what I did was I researched. So when Boggs starts going over his material, I'm just going to shoot everything he says down.
Yeah.
I'm going to be.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, we agree on a lot of this, I think.
Oh no, it's not that. I'm just going to
You're just gonna try it anyway.
Be the asshole who fucking tries to defeat you at every turn.
Yeah, well, I guess we can
Do you
kind
see
of
what
go
I have to
into
deal
the...
with, people? Do you see what I have to fucking go through?
I do want to point out, though, of the three of us, only one of us is a felon and has done the illegal drugs before.
No, you're only a felon if you've been in jail for it, sir.
Dude, look, let's face it. You're still a goddamn felon. You did something that was considered a felony.
Prove it. All you have is my word. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, that's right. Your word doesn't mean shit.
You heard it, folks. You may as well just turn the show off because Eric Jones' word is basically a piece of shit in the rain.
No, I'm saying you need evidence. You
And
ain't got
we're
none.
saying you're a piece of shit in the rain.
Anyway, so that's where we're coming from. So we just want you to know that we're not a bunch of all dope smokers and we're not all shooting up all the time and everything. This is coming from two guys who have never even fucking smoked pot
Yeah,
and one who has barely done it.
I never really... My experience with it was very limited. I'd never even bought it before. I just always mooched off of people. Yeah, I
Nice.
mooched.
Isn't that what most people do?
I would think so.
But I really didn't do it even on a regular basis. When I think like the most I ever did was twice in 1 month. Like that's the most.
You're pretty much just still going to hell. Like every time you ever open your mouth, I've just thought to myself, if I were Christian, I would pretty much think he was going to hell.
But anyway,
Actually, I disagree with that.
I think the last time that I smoked was probably about like a year and a half ago.
And I mean, let's face it. When I went over the notes in the first show, what like 80% of Americans consider themselves Christian, and I think what's the stats? Like 42% of people have tried pot in this country.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot
Something
of
tells me some of those people are Christian.
not very many Christian.
Well, this is probably going to be my main focus and my main point with most of the things we talk about today is the crimes that we're talking about: prostitution, drug use, selling drugs, stuff like that. These are not what they would call mala in se crimes. That means that it's inherently evil, like murder is considered inherently evil. These are all mala prohibita crimes. It's Latin for this is just a societally prohibited type act. The main focal points that I have here are things like deterrence don't work. If you look at prostitution particularly, there are several different societies that have always had illegal type prostitution, and it's still there. You can't get rid of that. It's not going to happen. The drug use thing and the drug selling thing is the same way. Like you're always going to have people, especially now because it's illegal. The best way to innovate things is to one, make it harsher and smaller to hide it, like needles in your jacket. Like I don't know what that popping was, but needles in your jacket. Basically anything that's not pot. I know that like the thing about pot, if you're trying to hide things like that from police, it's a lot more bulky than it is just to hide a bunch of hypodermic needles in your jacket. So it's a lot harder to sell unless you're doing things really big. That's why a lot of harsher drugs were introduced to begin with. So anytime that you talk to people about drug use and you think it's a moral thing, just remember that it's really not an immoral type thing to do. It might not be good for you. It might not be the best. And you don't have to, even if you don't agree with me that it's not a moral thing to do, even if it isn't, the things that I'm going to talk about should make you think a little bit harder about whether or not your morality is necessarily what should be legal or illegal. I actually sort of touched on this when we talked about abortion, but it's the same case with abortion when you talk about, well, if it's legal, you can regulate who gets abortions and at what point do they have to get it before they can't anymore, and the procedure is handled by a professional, all those types of things. If you illegalize abortion, what will end up happening is you'll have people going through back alleys who get into very dangerous situations and your death rate will go up. So
And that's pretty much what they do right now for drugs.
yes, and that's exactly what happens with drugs. That's actually one of the greatest cases to prove this point that we've had in American history is prohibition. Prohibition of alcohol was probably one of the biggest mistakes we've ever made politically.
Yep.
And the reason that was true is because when you had prohibition of alcohol, what did people do? People didn't drink beer anymore. Before that time, America was a beer-drinking nation. What did we go to? We went to harsh whiskeys. They would go to ethyl alcohol, which is terrible for you. It actually does do brain damage, just because it would give it a kick and it gave people more of an incentive to try it. That's where you came in with bootlegging, because you could get away instead of trying to do a big giant kegger of beer to hide. You just have a flask of whiskey on your boot. All these little things that people do show you that deterrents don't work. Because if it was deterring people from doing it, nothing would happen. You would have actually just stopped it. That's the ideal scenario for a deterrent.
Yeah, like you mentioned, and that was pretty much that was the beginning of the rise of the mafia right there.
Yes.
I mean, that's how they
That
got
is
into
the other
business.
point.
And then look how that spread. And it's no different today with the drugs, with the gang situation.
No, gangs and mafia.
And cartels as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Of course, that's more South America. And look,
Yeah.
look what's going
Quite.
on down there. They're having tens of thousands of murders, yearly because of...
and this is the point that I want to make to most people who have a problem with drug use. You can either have a problem with people using drugs, similar to like alcohol, which is what we're doing right now, and basically, like obviously you can't do drugs and drive. You have to be a certain age, etc. Those types of relegations. I said relegations. What the fuck is that?
Don't worry about it, butcher.
Regulations.
15 words every goddamn broadcast.
Right. Shut up. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm trying to
or
I'm
you
trying
can
to
deal
help
with
you.
what we have right now, which is gang violence, mafia violence, people dying over it. And from an economist standpoint, especially for me looking at stats I'm about to read off, I would definitely just take the issues you have with people trying to do it and driving and, being
Well, even
just
still, I mean,
basic assholes.
Think about the morality part of it. I mean, exactly what is immoral about it? What do people find immoral about it versus other things that we do on a daily basis, like eat fast food, which is a detriment to your body as well.
Yep.
And you can even like go so far as to make an argument that like somebody drinks a few beers too many and goes out driving and harms somebody. What really is the difference between that and somebody who picks up fast food and eats it and is distracted and runs into somebody?
Well, that's the thing. When you
What
look,
the hell's the difference?
when you look at, I mean, that's kind of, you could kind of put it in the same category: smoking, alcohol, and then drugs. I know we'll probably get into a little bit. Me and Eric talked about it before the show about the different types of drugs. Like he wants to make everything legalized. I think probably marijuana and hash are probably a good start. I don't think I would just legalize everything initially, but I think if you look at just the marijuana against cigarettes, against alcohol, and you look at the side effects, and there's no comparison. I mean, smoking and alcohol do so much more damage. I mean, just in a physical sense to people's bodies, and then the amount of death and stuff that occurs. Like, just some stats I looked at on average for cigarettes, linked to cigarettes deaths. I mean, you're talking cancers, emphysema, everything. 443,000 deaths, or 1 in 5 in the United States every year, are due to smoking. I mean, that's more than HIV, illegal drug use, alcohol, motor vehicle injuries, suicides, murders combined. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount. And alcohol deaths, I mean, you're talking drunk driving, sclerosis of the liver, all the other different side effects of that, over 85,000 deaths. I mean, if you look at marijuana, and I'm just talking marijuana, I'm not talking all the hard shit, they can't even really fucking link one death to marijuana. Because,
Yep.
I mean, from someone overdose, like there's never
overdose?
been a case.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I'm
can't-
saying.
you
There's
can't
never
do it.
been a case of it.
You can't do it.
And I've read different studies and stuff where they do, like, they could say, well, it's still smoke in the lungs and stuff, when they've done studies on, like, the lungs and everything to
Yeah.
see the adverse effects. And there's really no conclusive studies that prove that it does any damage there either.
Yeah, I saw some interview from a guy who grows some of the highest THC rated marijuana up in Canada. And they were talking to him about, the benefits of it and medicinal purposes and how you can put it in, like you can bake stuff out of it and all kinds of different stuff. And they were asking him about that. And he was like, you can't OD from it. Trust me, I've tried.
And that's the best point right there. No,
Like, you actually tried?
no
That's pretty
fucking
messed up,
doctor
man.
is ever going to give you a prescription, say, here, go smoke a cigarette or go drink a fucking fifth of Jack.
Yeah.
But they
This
actually
will
have
help you sleep.
medical marijuana. Doctors say it has medicinal purposes, and they have studies to
Oh,
prove
certainly.
it. So, I mean, right off the bat, okay, so this is illegal. Alcohol is not. Smoking is illegal. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that off the
Where
bat.
do you draw the line?
Well, this is the point that I think I
don't care
I
about your
really
fucking
don't.
point.
You know what, buddy? I will shit in your mouth. All right, so
Wow.
I won't really do that, folks. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
The point that the point that I would make with that though is like the thing about the morality to drug use. It's completely socially enforced. It is not by its very nature evil, and that's why it's just such a drag on people that we've made. And I mean, the thing that's so striking to me is we've sent plenty of people to jail just for drug use and selling, I don't know what, like, I know the big story that I hear a lot because I listen to sports radio all the time is Sam Hurd going to jail for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 20 years at this point just because he sold a bunch of drugs. And
Oh, I think it was quite a bit. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of pounds of fucking...
It was a lot. It was definitely... He was in a very, very big operation. And I understand that with what we have in place that that kind of thing happens. But that's the point, is like we're sending these people away for doing something that's not inherently evil, and they're not really a threat to society. There's nothing threatening about what they're doing.
You know, I'll be stats guy on this because I'm the only one that fucking actually kind of bones up for this because you fuckers suck.
I'm actually looking at stats right now.
Fuck your stats. I've got them. God damn it.
Okay, dude. Whatever.
Whoa.
Anyway, so last year there were 800,000 arrests, 853,000 for marijuana. 750,000 of those were for possession. In contrast to violent crimes like murder, rape, armed robberies, 552,000. So, I mean, you're talking, what, 150% more arrests for marijuana possession, and those people are going to prison. You know, and like you're saying, I bet if you look at the terms on some of these, I mean, you get busted 3 times with fucking pot, that's a life sentence.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's how fucking ridiculous is that?
This is the next thing I was going to say about why harsher drugs get introduced all the time. The penalty for selling is the same no matter what you do. You're going to jail. You know what I mean? And it's people are like, well, no, man. Some of it's like 50 years. Some of it's like 20 years. I'm like, does it really fucking matter?
Yeah,
You're going to
when you
jail
get up
for fucking over 20
decades,
years. So, you know, that's
might as well be doing the hard shit.
Exactly, because you can hide it, and your risk is less when you can hide it in your jacket.
Well, that's you better hide, dude.
That's what I'm saying, though, is like, why are you trying to make people gutter around all of these little laws that you have in place? And that's why, like, and the next one I'm going to make is what we said about legalizing, like, just marijuana, do a few at a time. I like to just go throw it all at them, and here's the reason. It's not so much that I want a bunch of people doing drugs, and frankly, at home, if you really contemplate this, there are so many people who are aptly against drug use, you're not really going to see a very huge spike in most drugs that hit the market. What you will see a spike in is most likely marijuana. I can definitely see that being a case.
Yeah, because a lot of people want to try it. Some people don't because...
Well, it's a known safe drug. From what everybody says about it, it's known that it's not going to harm you. And typically, frankly, you feel better. And you honestly fuel a lot of McDonald's. So...
It'll stimulate the economy.
See?
Bitches.
Fuck you, Washington. We got this shit figured out. You need to come to Texas and talk to us.
So you can tax the shit out of it, so they get more taxes from that.
Yeah.
Plus all the businesses, all the fast food chains.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at...
Sales grow.
I looked at some stuff, and they say it's hard to tell because, you know, since it is illegal, it's hard to judge it. But based on just, you know, surveys and shit where people have come forward and said, yeah, you know, I've tried it or done it or I do it this regularly. They're saying they could probably pull between, you know, $10-20 billion in tax revenue every year.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And then you got to think when they're spending $51 million a year, or last year, $51 billion, excuse me, to fight the war on drugs. And the majority of that is going towards, you know, these bullshit fucking extra cops on the street and stuff for these possession.
Well, I mean, honestly, how else is our government going to be able to fund illegal operations overseas?
Yeah, that's what I want to get into one other time.
Well,
I mean,
we should hit that up next show since it's going to segue from this so well.
Do some fucking CIA black ops fun.
Yippers.
No, that's not including the publicly owned prisons that we have out there that put these people in there
Yeah, and that's the best
and
point.
keep them there
Basically,
and are traded on the stock market.
you know, prohibition, that was a bunch of whites doing their mafia thing and stuff. Now it's like you got these poor blacks. It's like, oh, this is a great excuse, man. We get them on possession charges. We toss them in fucking prison. Like you said, even if it's a short sentence, it doesn't matter. They go in, it's a felony conviction. You lose your right to vote. I mean, that goes on your record. It's already harder to get a job if you're a minority anyway.
Definitely.
And then that fucking takes you down even more. They're probably from poor backgrounds to begin with. So then you're taking away pretty much any hope they have, you know, of going, you know.
what little they did because of where they most likely were raised.
And not saying that they're going to, but I mean, not everyone is a fucking felon. I mean, you got to think maybe some 14 or 15-year-old kid gets busted with it or something. That goes on his record. That could keep him from getting college loans later on.
Yep.
I mean, shit like that. And there's a lot of things. And the fucking statistics on it are fucking crazy. I mean, if you look at, now this is all illicit drug use, but for white users, 72% of drug users are white, 15% are black. But when you start looking at conviction for drug felonies in courts, whites, when they only get convicted 33% of the time, blacks 51% of the time.
Jeez.
I mean, so it's basically the Jim Crow laws of
We're
our
not
fucking
a racist
time.
country anymore, right?
No, I mean, the drug laws are set up, and they have a thing in New York. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this stop and frisk law they have.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for like since 2002.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dude, you'll love this. Last fucking year, right? They stopped 685,000 times. They stopped people, and it's just like if you just look suspicious, they could stop you, and they can. They fill out a questionnaire. They sit there and have you fill it out, and then they'll pat you down and shit. And if they find stuff, they could bust you. 88% of the time, of those 685,000, the people are completely innocent. Had nothing on. They just stopped them, fucking frisked them. Now you gotta think, and most of these are between 14 and 24 years old. 53% were blacks, 34% Latino, only 9% were white. Are the ones they stopped. And the thing about that, dude, I mean, you're talking 14 to 24-year-olds, mostly black and Latino. You know they already have that thing with cops anyway.
Yeah.
And then they're getting stopped in front of their fucking friends. They're like 16 years old. They're getting stopped and frisked and treated like fucking criminals. I mean, it just, you know what I mean?
88% of them don't have shit on them.
Yeah, and it's like, goddamn, that is why there's such a negative, connotation towards police and authority and shit. I mean,
of course.
Ridiculous.
See, and that's the thing is like, what I'm about to read off of here, this is exactly why things like these should be, and this is definitely my opinion, so drugs should just be illegal. And I'm about to read this little report here. This is from Frontline. This is exactly what people do, basically, when things are illegalized and they want to do something like sell drugs, and it, is like this multi-million. And damn, dude, I'm pretty sure you're talking about $1 trillion business if you could sell just even marijuana. I'm pretty sure marijuana would be $1 trillion business in the U.S. just if it were legal. So here's this little report from Frontline. It's called Russian Organized Crime. I'm going to read a little bit of it here because what they do is fucking hilarious. So the Center for Strategic and International Studies issued this 1997 report on Russian organized crime as part of its Global Organized Crime Task Force headed by blank. I'm not going to go over that. Who cares? He's an asshole anyway.
Oh my.
Yeah. So this is how Krisha, a term cited several times in Frontline's report, mafia power play, is a key component integrating criminal and legal economies in a post-communist Russia, and how Russian organized crime has linked with other organized crime groups worldwide. Goes into a couple of different things. I'm going to read this because what they found was basically a Russian submarine that the mafia had kind of revamped and reused to smuggle drugs into the U.S., and they caught them in a harbor. They caught a Russian sub in the harbor. So let me find the post down here where they start talking about it.
So pretty much what you're saying is that they're going to do anything they possibly can to get these drugs into the United States to sell them.
Yes, because there's such a large market here, and it's all underground.
Yeah.
And the problem that I have is, I mean, think about the capabilities of somebody to come into your country with a submarine full of drugs, unload it, and then distribute it to your citizens, and you caught one. And this was in 1997, and I can't find a report since.
That's because our CIA took over that operation.
Yeah.
We don't need the KGB and the...
Actually, it's because I stopped researching.
mafia.
But still, not the point. But yeah, like the length that people will go to do these types of things should pretty much debunk anyone thinking that you can deter somebody with a law. And here's the dangers that I don't think people realize.
Well, you don't think that works? Putting them in prison and stuff? I mean, the I can't even say fucking shit. Recidivism rate is only like 40-some%. So, I mean, only 4 out of 10 people after they get out of prison to go right back in.
Yeah.
I'd say that they're reformed.
That's a good statistic.
Yeah, dude. 6 out of 10 is pretty fucking
It's working,
good.
dude. Let's keep doing it.
And, I mean, we're only spending like, $25,000-$30,000 a year per inmate. That's good taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, instead of, educating them, helping them
Yeah,
overcome their addictions and
what's funny? And
learn to be productive members of
most
society.
of them go to state prisons where they don't have all that. But if you go to a federal prison where you're basically there for fucking life, you can take college courses and all that shit and learn skills. It's like, these motherfuckers are never getting out. Why don't you do that to the ones in state prison who are only going to be there
the
for...
ones that are going to get out. Yeah. No,
Give
they don't
them
want to do
a
that. They don't
skill.
want an educated productive mass coming out of prisons. They don't want that. They want to get those motherfuckers right back in.
Oh, this was a fun little stat too, because speaking of the prisons and everything, it's like you're saying, Eric, it's all privately run now. It's all for profit prisons.
Not all of it, but there's quite a few.
The big ones are like the big states and stuff. Like I know Arizona, they're a huge one on that. There's like 2 companies that they're really big lobbyists. They've spent like $20 billion lobbying over the last decade to get these damn prisons up and running. So, I mean, it benefits them, the more prisoners, and they're going to make more money.
Yep.
In the last 25 years, because the drug war, the first time the war on drugs was brought up was during like the Nixon administration 70s, but it didn't really kick into effect until Reagan came in, and you had Nancy Reagan's old crusty ass fucking saying, just say no, that whore. And then,
damn.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. She's a lovely woman. Is she dead yet? So anyway,
wow.
Since that time, we have 40% more prisons running today that have been built and are up and running today than there was back in the 80s when this thing took off. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, think about it. We've got more. Okay, the United States makes up 5% of the world's population. We have 25% of the incarcerated people in our country on the planet.
Yeah.
And over half of them are for drug violations.
And even still, just on the other side of it, I mean, what's the difference between some of these hardcore drugs and prescription legal drugs that are prescribed by a doctor? I mean, Oxycontin is a horrible, horrible painkiller that's extremely addictive. And I've seen it actually destroy people's lives firsthand. I've had a friend that was addicted to it, and
I've seen it.
He almost killed himself because of it.
I've seen it totally destroy people's brains. Have you ever listened to Rush Limbaugh?
Wow.
God, taking shots on everybody.
That's right. I'm fucking off tonight, bitches.
He's on fire.
I'm drinking a beer. It's fucking nighttime. We're not doing this in the morning. I'm awake.
So, I mean,
yeah,
the people that are addicted to these painkillers, they're using them illegally, quote unquote. But those are still legally sold and purchased drugs. They come from somewhere, and they're done by corporations, Pfizer and Abbott and all those other guys. And then on top of that, if you make drugs legal, all of a sudden it becomes regulated, and companies are forced to use good quality products to make their drugs. You don't have these back alley meth labs where they're just throwing anything they possibly can in there to just try and get you high. They don't give a shit what it does to you. They only care about selling it. They're going to use the cheapest thing possible.
That is true.
They're just trying to make money.
The only time you ever hear about people having incidents with like marijuana is if they get something spiked with something,
Well, and here's the deal though. If you legalize stuff like that, you can't do that anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like it all becomes regulated, and it becomes safer to do it. So if you're going to do it, which people are going to do it anyway, you might as well make it safer. And that's the same thing with prostitution. If you legalize prostitution, all of a sudden it has to be regulated. You get rid of the pimps. The women are treated better. They have to do regular testing. And it's in a safe environment where they're not going to get their asses beat by some jackass sycophant who wants to have his jollies by punching a woman.
I know all about that. That's so correct.
There's a lot of statistics.
I was the only one that smoked pot. Michael, you're the only one that's partaken in a prostitute.
I helped pay the way some college education for some young ladies, I think.
Wow.
Whoa, multiple. I only knew about the one.
That was just a couple times. Just a couple times.
Yeah, that's the thing though, is especially with like any of these products we're talking about, it doesn't even matter. But when you regulate things like that, you'll notice that a lot of problems disappear. And I think the trade-off you have to ask yourself for, and I don't care what you think morally, whoever's listening, you definitely, this is the question you need to answer in your own mind. Do I want to have problems with people like underage or driving, using drugs, and then driving and obviously hurting someone? Or would I rather have the problem of mafias and gangs having all this power to sell you all of these things that are illegal because you can't get it anywhere else? And so many people get hurt because, especially for prostitution, I don't want to go into the stats on it because there's a lot of different ones and it depends on the year. And the problem with prostitution stats are this is reported stats. This is not what actually goes on in the world. So I actually think most of the stats, especially the ones that are really negative, are more exaggerated than you'd think they'd be. because it's not like a prostitute. It's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm a prostitute. I've been doing it for like 20 years, and like here's my information. I've been giving these people STDs for 15, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? They're not gonna come out and tell you that kind of stuff. So it's very, very hard to get stats like that.
No, that's just when you wake up in the morning, you go to the mirror, and written in lipstick is you now have welcome to the wonderful world of AIDS or something. That's how they let you know. They don't put it in a public address or something.
If anyone out there has ever done that, please comment, because we'd like to shit on your porch. Anyway, so but that's the point, is anytime that you can regulate things like that, I would encourage anyone who listens to this to go look at prostitution stats and just look at where it is in Nevada where it's legal, which is, by the way, not Las Vegas. It's like a county right outside of it.
Yeah.
But where it's legal, there is like, first off, they've already like done all of their homework. They've already registered with the state for their business. It's mostly repeat business, and their STD rate is damn near not there. All of the girls have to get tested once a month, I think, something like that.
I believe so, yeah.
I think it's once a month. Everywhere else in the nation, your STD rate is like 90%. It's something just outlandishly ridiculous. And the thing you need to realize is there's one difference between the rest of the country and that little county. It's legal there, and it is illegal everywhere else. And you can't regulate things that are illegal.
Correctamundo.
We should just lay it out on him. Why
And
do we
even-
fucking talk?
There's
You
even
kinda
like
did lay
little.
out on me, but
There's even
assholes.
little steps that you can do. I know Portugal, they decriminalized it, so now they don't go into
All drugs, right?
Yeah, they decriminalized everything, all of it. I mean, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, it's all decriminalized. That doesn't mean it's necessarily legal. It's still illegal to carry these things and traffic them, but instead it shifts whenever you get caught to where you have to go into a special court where the offender's unique situation is judged by legal experts, psychologists, and social workers. And then treatment and further action is decided in these courts, and where addicts and drug users are treated for, it's more of like a public health thing. It's not a criminal thing. They don't just throw them in jail. They actually try and take care of them and try and help them overcome whatever deficits they have, because after all, there's no straight shot as to why people take drugs. There's a lot of different conflicting things, but I think it's a multitude of things, and each individual is different. So you have some people that do have they are substance abuse users because of anxiety brought on by some painful emotion in the past. Daddy beat them or whatever, and they were neglected, or they're from a broken home, whatever it may be. And then other people have an actual deficit in their brain, and their receptors don't get the chemicals, the reward system chemicals. I don't know if you guys know about that, but our brains have it's kind of like a reward system where after something positive in your life happens, it fires these receptors, and other receptors receive them, and it gives you a better feeling, more euphoria. And there's some people that have a deficit to where their receivers don't pick up on the signals quite right. So they take drugs because it goes through the blood-brain barrier, and it gives them that stimuli that they're not getting elsewhere. So you have to look at the individual. Instead, here in the States, we like to just look at the action and say, you did something illegal, we're going to throw you in jail, fuck you. At least in Portugal, they realize that everybody's different. They have to do it on a person-to-person basis and actually treat them.
For those of you who aren't in the States that are listening to us, when Eric says they say like throw you in jail because of this crime, fuck you, that fuck you part they only say to the person if they're going away for like 20 years, something like that. So
or
anything less than that, they're nicer.
Or life if it's your third offense.
Yeah, if it's a life sentence, I think they say worse than fuck you. I've seen some family members actually jump across tables and stuff trying to get at the drug dealer because you killed my baby. So they say fuck you to those people too.
Yeah.
I would also like to say to Eric, cool story, bro.
Shut up.
Eric did a lot of research and found that he was very proud of himself.
He did do a lot of research. By the way, we're going to put most of the stuff we found up on the website.
Probably not.
This.
Dude, you guys always say that, and you guys never put jack shit.
Well,
I do.
I don't
Well,
have
I mentioned my shit on air.
Hold on.
So.
I also want to say that
I
for
speak
people
the
that
truth.
are not on our Facebook page, that's where I put all my stuff. So if you want to see the stuff that I put up, you got to go to our Facebook page and like it.
Yeah, we got to get more than like 30 some people fucking liking our page. And that's another thing too. Look, assholes. We're doing
whoa,
this
whoa,
as a,
whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's not get all angry at our listeners now.
Look, lovely listeners.
There you go. There you go. Butter them up. Get your sexy voice on.
We gotta get you guys on there, man. We need some
Sexier.
I can't do sexy. That Boggs can do sexy. Boggs was reading some stuff for us earlier. I started kind of getting chubby.
Shh. We're letting Boggs do it.
Oh, sorry.
What do you want me to say again?
Oh, fuck this. Okay, so anyway, we need you guys. You got to go add us on the Facebook, or Twitter at the Intel Saviors.
The Intel motherfucking
Go and
saviors.
add us on there and leave comments for the show. I've had a few people actually leave comments. I throw out like a topic and people have
Leave some comments.
twitted me back.
Twatted you?
Twatted me back, so to speak.
I
And
said comments, but I said CUMM. That's pretty good, right?
Oh,
Yep. No,
no.
nothing. Shit.
son of a bitch. Oh, and by the way,
By the way,
I'll go ahead and I'll tweet out our lovely producer's Twitter account so you guys can all add her on as well.
And send her penis photos.
Oh, wait a
Penis
minute.
photos.
Don't do that because she's dead. She fell off a cliff. I forgot. So
Oh,
don't
shit.
worry about that. And don't send penis photos. Thank God we didn't get any. At least I don't think we did. I didn't look at the...
No, we didn't.
she honestly, if that happened, she would just delete it and she wouldn't say a damn thing to anybody.
She wouldn't.
No boob
we
shots.
would never know.
No dick shots.
I
We
might
got
know. She might actually call me at
focus.
some point and be like, "You fucking asshole," and I'll be like, "What the fuck did I?" Oh, so
Boggs was like actually taking pictures of his own dick and putting them on there so she would see them. He just put like from fucking Hillbilly Jim or put somebody's name on it and send it in.
all right. I don't want anybody to make any assumptions from this, but that doesn't work.
I don't understand. What, taking pictures of your...
I said don't make
Weenus?
assumptions. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
I don't know where we're fucking going now.
Neither do I.
We really did have a really great show planned, and
It has been an
then
excellent
alcohol
show
got
so
in the
far.
way. I think so.
No, it's been great so far. Let's get back into hookers. Actually, there was
was
one...
that a hey? Whoa, was that a pun?
No.
Okay.
There was one thing I did want to kind of bring up because we kind of just touched on it was the... Like...
What, you buying a prostitute?
That and then like pharmaceuticals and stuff though, like the legal shit. It's amazing, man. Like, do you know, like I was going over like the alcohol, like there's like fucking 85,000 deaths like linked to alcohol every year and stuff. There's 82,000 deaths every year linked to FDA approved drugs, like your fucking Xanaxes, your OxyContins, your Ambiens, all that kind of shit. I mean, that is more than fucking illicit drugs right now.
Yeah.
And like I was telling Eric, where the fucking gangs are fucking up, the reason why the cops are on their ass and throwing them in jail for selling fucking dope and stuff is because they don't have the lobbyists that the pharmaceutical company has. If they had lobbyists in fucking Washington, they would not have to fucking deal with this bullshit.
Yeah. Any gangsters out there, just buy up some lobbyists.
Yeah, take some of that money, quit buying fucking Bentleys and fucking gold chains, get you a fucking lobbyist. First of
Get
all,
out there.
you'll make more money in the long run. And then you won't have the goddamn Fed on your ass all the time.
We should definitely
just
talk
saying.
in one episode. This is probably going to be a good cliffhanger, but we
No.
should discuss lobbying.
Oh, yeah.
We should definitely discuss it
we
at some point.
Yeah, we need to get it. Like, yeah, we
Yeah,
need to
'cause
get into
it's
how the
fucking
fucking
retarded.
the government
Yes.
fucking works. The nonsense that goes on in Washington. I mean, like I said, I'm a good lib, but dude, it's both sides, and it's just fucking terrible the way it works.
Did you just say you're a good lib?
I am a good lib, man.
Wow.
I don't call myself a Democrat. I call myself a liberal because I'm a fucking liberal.
Yeah. Our our laws are up for the highest bidder, pretty much.
Mhm. It's both sides. Or on the Republican side. But it's on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I do
the
want
whole
to
damn
make
thing.
this statement before we get back to our gang mafia drug thing because we've digressed to a point where I don't even know if we can get back into it. But I do want to say, though, that if you're a very staunch anything out there in terms of those two parties, you need to understand that those two parties are designed to grab your vote. They're not designed to be a philosophical centerpiece for you. So if you're like, I agree with the philosophy of the Democratic Party, you're basically saying at that point you agree with the way they're trying to acquire votes.
You want to know why it's like that?
Because people like to... I just want to hear your answer because everything I say is probably just... You're going to be, no, that's not what it is, brah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Because they have career politicians now.
Yep.
That's why it's like that.
Yep. You put term limits
If
on
it wasn't a
take out
career
funding.
for people, they wouldn't be. There would be no money in it. It'd be a service, which is what it's supposed to be.
Anything else you guys want to add to gangs, mafias, or drugs? I pretty much shot my wad there saying that it's not a morally terrible thing.
It's here. Okay, kids, it's not a bad thing. If you want to join the Crips, go ahead. Eric said.
Okay, I should rephrase that. Thank you. What I'm saying is that if you legalize drugs, you're taking a lot of the power away from gangs and mafias to function. Frankly, they have enough money right now that they would honestly probably just turn into corporations and run a business. But I think I would rather regulate that.
Yeah.
And be able to sue someone for malpractice or negligence or producing something bad. Because as it stands, if you do have that situation where you come up, where you smoke pot and somebody laced it with crack and it damn near killed you, you don't get to do anything about it. Well, it's very, very dangerous.
And really, I mean, what happens when a mafia syndicate or a cartel decides that they want to go ahead and take over a little chunk of land? They got a shitload of money. They can definitely get a huge cache of weapons. They can certainly train people.
And that's a good point though too, with the gangs and stuff now, with it being illegal.
What happens when they decide that they want more?
Well, because of the goddamn gang wars to protect their territory and their drugs and stuff. Since I mean, a lot of that money, like you were saying, it can be regulated, and then you get taxed out of it,
Yeah.
and I mean, the government can make it safer. A lot of that money gets funneled into buying fucking illegal weapons and shit like that. I mean, it just causes the problems just kind of start stacking. It's like a fucking domino effect. So yeah, I mean, not only would legalizing marijuana help for that, probably for the addiction purposes of it, the safety purposes, adding tax dollars, not eating up tax dollars but it also, I mean, there's other issues that it would help, with in the long run as well.
Like dying,
violent crimes and all that, and illegal arms. I mean, a lot of that shit all kind of coincides with it.
And really, when you look at the way that they run their businesses and how they operate, it's not that far off from what corporations do and how they run shit. The only difference is that they just kill motherfuckers that disagree with them.
Well, that's the thing.
There's some
is
corporations that do that, but
when you're faced with going to jail for 20 plus years, you'll kill for it, and that's proven through people just disappearing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, I would as a person, I would rather avoid that and have other issues like, man, we have to fucking regulate 18-year-olds trying to do drugs and drive. Holy shit, dude. What a terrible problem. I promise you, if that happened, your stats on people who die over this shit is decreased by a ton.
Well, and I also think that a lot of the deaths, it's more motivated by money.
Oh, it definitely is. But the thing is if you're going to jail for a long time because someone's going, that's why there's a witness protection program for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but if you legalize it, it definitely it completely cuts that out, because a lot of people would think, oh, well, like you said, that they would just become corporations and they would do the same shit that they've been doing. Not necessarily, because they would have to be pretty much the eye of the government would be on them. And right now, the reason why they thrive and survive is because the government's not on their ass. They really don't know who they're looking for, and it's hard to find. You can't do that if you want to get your government seal of approval pot out there. And people are going to buy that instead of buying the shit off the streets, right?
Well, this is where I would probably say there needs to be a really good way of handling this. Honestly, at this point, I'm not arresting anybody if I'm in those positions. I'm not telling them that they need to get rid of their product or we're not going to start over. It's like, hey, if you want to start your company, fucking sign up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would force them to either change or it would just die. Their little gang or whatever it is would die.
Yeah.
Either change or die. You'd have to do one or the other, because you're not going to be able to sell the stuff on the streets and do what you've been doing.
That's perfect, though, for me. I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, who's going to want to go to fucking the hood and risk getting shot to get a fucking joint when you can just go and purchase it? Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, definitely, they'd have to conform at that point.
It would kill their market, so they would have to do something about it, or it would just go away.
Yep. So
pretty much. And that, and that's
so
the thing.
Do that. Let's start the campaign.
And the same shit with prostitution. The same shit would happen.
Oh,
Pimps wouldn't be able to do anything.
The prostitutes would be less abused, because the thing is as it stands right now,
I'll buy my penis.
if you wanted to walk up to a prostitute and buy her, you could literally just beat the shit out of her. And what is she going to do? Is she going to go to the police about it? No, she's not going to go to the police about it, because then she has to admit that she's a prostitute and they will prosecute her.
Her pimp might have something to say about it. Is whooping your ass.
Yeah, I was about to say some of those beatings are from their employers.
I will say. Yep. From my experience,
you can't say anything about that either, though, because then you get prosecuted.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Michael.
From my experience there, like we were saying when doing the regulation, being over in Europe, I was over there in the early 90s. And, I mean, it is like that. I mean, you know, they basically, they have to go and get registered through the, I say state, it's country. And they do, I want to say it's monthly testing. It might be even more frequent than that. And of course, you know, I mean, it's very by the book, man. They put the condoms on you themselves, and they do all this stuff. Man, don't do that when I'm talking.
Yeah, Boggs is making like this
He's
grab
doing
a breast like
He's
motion.
doing this motion with his hand next to his mouth, or it looks like he's, I don't even know.
That's not true.
We know what kind of prostitutes Boggs would buy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Let's put
come
it
on,
this
dude.
way.
My wife's gonna hear this.
But yeah, I was gonna say they don't have.
Oh,
a
like
set
your
of
wife
lips
has
between
never
their
heard
legs.
me rip on you ever and make fun of you and
That's not the
insinuate
point.
that you're gay.
That is not the point.
But
That is not the throbbing point at all. That was good, dude. I don't care what you say, Mike.
But no, I totally, after seeing the way it is over there and stuff, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if the government can regulate, it's the same thing. I mean, they can make money off of it. They license these girls. They know every one of them's in the system. They go checked up. The government, you know, they get, I think they pay for their testing and stuff, but I think it's, you know, very cheap. I think it's good for the girls that way. And plus, when they do it, they have zones where they do it, where they have the housing. And the great thing is, it's like they have police protection. They don't have to have pimps because they got fucking actual, like, in Germany, Polizei. They got the police and stuff that are there all the time. So people can't pull shenanigans or do like Boggs are doing, just run out and beat the shit out of a prostitute on the street.
Dude, oh, come on, dude. I did not say I would
Sick
do
fuck
that.
that he is.
Yeah, and if anybody in a foreign country listens to us and they do have these kind of establishments set up, by all means, give us your input. He's been over there to some places
It's been about 20
so.
years ago, so it could have. I'm sure it's changed somewhat.
Yeah.
But
No, we're certainly not saying there aren't already problems with this type of thing. I know that there's a lot of emotional issues when somebody's putting their body on the market, but I do want to say that I just think it's safer. I would rather...
Yeah,
I would rather...
It's going to happen. It's the oldest profession on the planet. It's going to happen
Just
no
like
matter
drug
what.
use.
There's nothing that will ever stop prostitution. The best way that we can handle the situation is make it safer for everybody.
Yep, I agree. You know what really sucks, guys?
no, what really sucks?
We actually did put him to sleep.
Yeah, we did. He's out like a light.
He is
Son of a
gone.
I'm going to blame
bitch.
Magic. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a
He's-
fucking fantastic show.
He's tuckered out from all the magic he was playing earlier.
That's true.
Son of a bitch.
By the way, if there's any other Magic players that listen to this, please just fucking rip on them. I would love it.
How are they going to rip on us? What exactly can they use against us? That
Yeah,
we definitely have a lot against them.
well,
We'll find a way. We're
Uh-huh.
really good at solving puzzles.
No, you're good at reading a
even-
card and tapping your mana and playing it.
He only knows that because he's played before,
Yeah, it's a stupid game.
and I crushed him.
dude, I like I told Eric, I can't even say anything because I fucking play World of Warcraft. So
That's actually about the same. In fact, it's pretty much...
No, it's not.
let's not go fucking crazy, dude.
It's
It-
based on the same
no.
stuff.
Based on and is completely different. It is not anything like
Yeah,
Magic.
but we're referring to whether or not he's a nerd or not. I'm just saying that it's...
Oh no, I'm not denying that I mean, come on, dude. I've got a telescope in my bedroom. I have
He masturbates.
an
on it.
Xbox and a PlayStation.
Hey, girls in the apartments, guess what Eric's doing?
I did very minimum registration because,
Oh.
or I did a very little research this week because I was playing Borderlands 2 like all week long.
We're giving a shout out to all of our favorite things to do.
Yeah. And I did research as I masturbated, watching, looking at pictures of girls on Facebook that we know and do
Smoking a blunt.
fucking podcast with.
You know, anybody else out there that ever responds to our
Rest in
Facebook?
peace, Kristen.
Anybody who ever says, you guys are just a bunch of assholes, we're just going to refer you to this show and be like, yep,
Yep.
pretty much, man.
Oh, dude, I've stopped like arguing with people at bars and stuff. People start getting into it with me. I'm just like, just go to my podcast.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I've been nice in the first few. No more Mr. Nice Guy, man. I'm just fucking opening it up from now on. I'm just going to let it rip. I mean, we're pros, man. This is our 5th show. Fucking professionals now.
Right.
I mean, you guys don't
We
understand.
all have mic stands now.
You
We
guys
do.
do not understand the setup that we were rolling out the first night, where we're just all holding our mics, and I'm not even talking into the fucking ththing correctly because I'm so, I'm just
Well,
such
if
a
they
novice
listen
at
to
this.
it, trust me, they know.
Oh yeah, when you can't hear me because I sound like this the whole fucking time. What's he saying? Oh, what? Oh,
What the
I'm
hell?
pretty sure
Do
that's
you hear me
pretty
again?
close to the sentence you said too.
it's probably about right on. So, but yeah, man, it's a fucking professional network now, man. We got the fucking computers up. We got the mic stands. You guys just don't know what we go through for you people. I'm gonna be like Ann Romney. You fucking people.
Yeah.
Is that what she said? You fucking people?
No, well, just you people. You people don't know how hard this is.
I'm just gonna go with you fucking people.
That does,
Stop it. This
that
is
does-
hard.
Yeah, that's hilarious to me. You guys don't know how hard this is. You're like, well, what do you expect to do in the presidency? Are you gonna cry?
You know what? That's one thing I'm going to whip your asses with on the free for all next week, because the debates are coming up this week, and
Oh,
I am a political
God.
junkie. I know that Eric hates this shit, but like I said, I love it, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm just going to fucking be laughing at the ridiculousness of
Dude.
Mitt.
I listen to a lot of NPR. I love it. There's only 2 times of the year that I stop listening to NPR, and that's when they're doing their fucking drives where they're trying to raise money. I mean, I do send them money, but I just hate their drives. It drives me crazy.
Yeah,
Their drives drives me crazy.
I got it. It's a pun, kid.
And election year. Hate it because that's all they talk about. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm going
Sorry
to
about
hear
that.
about all that stuff from
God
other
damn.
sources. I don't need to
I
hear
think
it on
that
NPR.
clipped.
NPR, you're better than that. You're better to get sucked in by that.
You are
political
better than that.
crap.
I'm not better than that, dude. This
I
is the
know.
time of year where I get into the shit. I start
Yeah,
watching
you
it.
get a little stiffy. You get your stack of quarters.
Yeah. I got my stack of fucking quarters.
All right. Shout out to KK and his Weathered Underground again.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Remember, Twitter at theintelsaviors.com. Facebook, just look us up. Same as iTunes, Podbean, The Intel Saviors. Type us in, look us up, check us out, leave comments.
Curse us out.
Yep.
That's fine too.
No,
Tell us we're going to hell.
email intelsaviors@gmail.com. No dick pics. Titty pics are perfectly fine, and we will rate those.
Tell us you're going to shit in our mouths.
Don't tell us that, because you'll get deleted, because I don't want to read that. That's gross. And plus, Boggs says that all the time.
I
That's
do.
his
Boggs-
thing. Don't steal his fucking
That's
thing.
kind of my standard thing to
Boggs
insult
likes
someone
the
with.
abuse, though. He likes it. He likes it when you talk really filthy and nasty to him.
He does talk about shitting a lot. Like, I'm gonna shit
I
on
know.
stuff. Do you?
Told you,
Hey,
he
dude, do you
likes
do
that
that
stuff.
thing where, like, do you have like the glass coffee table and your wife, like, you lay underneath it and then she squats over it and fucking drops logs on it, and you get all turned on by it and you fucking just fucking go to town. Because some people are into that shit. I don't, man. I'm not shit. I am not into shit. Ass play,
Oh,
shit, none of
man.
that. I don't want to deal with it.
So I'm Boggs signing off now. What the
All
fuck just came out of your mouth, dude?
I'm just, I don't know.
To answer your question, no, that's
That's
All
all I
right.
wanted. I'd see an answer.
Until next week. See you guys later.
Peace out, bitches.
Give me Santa Cruz.